And we are off. Starting out at Link's house, of course, we find Fire Rod in the first chest.
Of course.
Wow. We are not wasting any time with the hype here.
Oh, what a delightful item.
That is way fast to start. Oh, let's see what we have here. Looks like we're going to get a tree pull here. We find just some green rupees, unfortunately. Not going to do much with that. So let's see what Uncle's got for us here today. Evanidus going to check the chest first. We got big 20 in the Uncle. Piece of heart from the chest. Not much here.
Yeah, the most important thing really out of that room, aside from checking those locations, is getting those two little small magic boosts. Because, of course, now they have that really formidable weapon in the Fire Rod, and I imagine they're going to put that to extensive use here early on.
We shall see. Both of our runners in sync going in the Sanctuary. There's the map for the escape dungeon. So we know there's going to be some items waiting for them in there, and I think if Evanidus is going to take that clue and go check it out. Oh, got a map check here. Blue pendant at Eastern, green pendant at Desert, Crystal 2 at Hera. Ooh, that's not a good sign.
Yeah, so already we know that the bow for certain cannot be on the pedestal if we want to start keeping track of that already. So cross that off the list. Evanidus is going to take the lower route into Kakariko, going to try to stock up on some bombs because he doesn't have many right now, and the Hoarder's not paying out anything. But we're going to see the Lumberjack check here in a second. What is waiting for us? Will we have an Agaseed? Nope, piece of heart. I don't know. They may want that piece of heart. Aghanim may be required. Could be.
I would be surprised. Evanidus checking the race game, only finding a 5 rupee there, so not much paying out. We're going to check the force now. Got 2 potential items here. Let's see what we find. Oop, some bombs. Hey, we need those.
Yeah, that
more
is
bombs.
Useful.
Yeah, and more bombs in the library as well, so those aren't getting taken. And heart container in the Forest Thieves hideout. That's always nice. That is something worth picking up.
Yeah, early on.
And we have Power Glove in the tavern.
Woo! Lace them up.
Yeah, I love the Power Glove. It's so bad.
Yeah, poor item. It gets knocked around so much because of the wizard, but it's a good little item.
Nice. Now checking the chicken shaft, finding a big 20 in there. Now we're gonna check to see what's hiding in Blind's hut. This is where we start seeing the big items coming.
Yeah, you got Blind's hut, and then you have the well, and really just a wealth of items coming up, or potential items, I should say.
Evanidus is going to use the bombable hut here to get some items here. 10 arrows so far in Blind's hut, 300 rupees. That's always nice. Moon Pearl! And a big 20. And a piece of heart. And chat saying I need to speak up. I'm pretty sure I'm loud enough, guys. Come on. I don't need to blow anyone's eardrums out. I did that enough already. It looks like both our runners are going to converge at the well, so we're back in sync. At least for the moment.
Yeah, unfortunately for Evanidus, his rooting did not quite pay off. Couldn't get those 3 bombs up in the Lost Woods, as we see 300 rupees there. Had to go and pick up bombs in the hut. Didn't even have enough to buy any from the shop.
Yep, big 20 in the back chest. So we have a heart container. We've got another big 20, and we've got 10 arrows. So they already have their Zora money. That's nice.
Yeah, and they've got that power glove, so certainly the logic is maybe asking for it to happen.
Oh, scam at the bottle vendor. Pay 100 rupees, only get 20 back.
Be sure to report him to my local Better Business Bureau. Now Z4T0X with his map check, finding out where everything is, getting an idea of where he might need to go. He's going to stop up and stock up on some bombs at the shop.
Yeah, Z4T0X already wealthy enough, you know, with plenty of walking around money to boot in addition to the Zora money. So picking up those bombs, pretty good plan there. Got a couple of bombable locations coming up in the overworld.
Yeah. Z4T0X now opting to save and quit. He did not check the library of the race game. Luckily for him, there's nothing there waiting for him, so that's not a bad call. It's not the wrong call to make, but very odd one, to say the least. So instead, Z4T0X going to take the cue from the Power Glove. He's heading to the back end of Escape. 3 more potential items waiting for him there. Let's see if he finds anything.
Yeah, and without a sword or, you know, a reliable item to go through the dark room with, we'll see if the key ends up being in one of these 3 chests.
And it is. There's a small key, piece of heart, and $5. But since he doesn't have the lamp, he's opting not to do the dark room, so he will be heading out. Maybe he can check the front end of Escape. No, and nope, he's heading to the South Shore.
Yeah, reasonable play. There's still so much to do in the overworld in terms of checking items. You got your gloves, you got your moon pearl. Realistically, if you could find the hammer sometime soon, or maybe some flippers, you would be pretty well set with some dark world mobility.
Well, let's see what he finds here. $50 inside the damn chest. That always sounds wrong every time I say it. I swear to God.
That dang chest. That dang chest.
But let's see what Z4T0X finds from draining the dam. And of course, we've got the mini Moldorm cave coming up. 5 more potential items in there. And just a piece of heart. I wouldn't call this a Shade Seed yet, folks. The Shade Seed is basically, for me, I qualify a Shade Seed as having a ton of items very early on, then having an item trolling them. Otherwise, this is just, right now, this is just a troll seed, because they've hardly found anything.
Yeah, it's still early on. I hate to, you know, rain on your parade there, but there's still a lot of things to check. So far, yeah, not a lot of progression. I mean, the gloves will get them up Hera, but without the lamp, it's technically a sequence break, so we'll wait. A couple more locations to check, and of course, Z4T0X stumbling into one right now. So
yeah, let's see what we find here. Mini Moldorm Cave, we have Das Boots! What are those?
Interesting, interesting.
Bombs, green rupee, hard container, and piece of heart, but still, the boots early on, that's always nice to find early.
Yeah, very nice to find early as far as movement goes, and of course it opens up one overworld location at this point. Could be very useful in the Desert Palace, but we don't know that yet, and we might not know for some time unless we stumble upon the book or the flute. And even then we would need the mitts.
Yeah, very much so. But also, this is perfect timing because he's heading up to the Ice Rod Cave. This is always very hard to route, no matter how you do it. So having the boots means he'll be able to get here much faster. This works out perfectly for him. Let's see if this pays off. What do we have in the Ice Rod Cave? We have just a piece of heart. All right, so we will see. It looks like Z4T0X is going to set up for fake flippering. He's got the Zora money, so he figures, let's go ahead and check that while I can. Oh, Titan's Bits on Lake Hylia Island.
Well, now the search is on for the flippers. That's pretty interesting.
All right, we find a piece of heart and big 20 in the Waterfall of Wishing. Not much there, unfortunately. He's going to at least be able to see what's on the Zora ledge. He's got the water walking glitch thanks to having that Moon Pearl. then we'll see what Zora's got to offer. Magic cape on the ledge. Oh, that's a tease.
Yeah, that'll be interesting to see if that's an item they come back and get after they've picked up their flippers. It can be very useful in a couple spots for sure, especially if they only pick up the fighter sword, as we see ether, a heart container, and rupees.
Yeah, so that works out. Ether, that could potentially be very useful. We don't know what medallions we need yet for Misery Mire or Turtle Rock, or whether or not we'll need medallions at all. Well, we're guaranteed at least one, because at least one of those dungeons has to be a crystal. But let's see. And unfortunately, it was another scam from the Zora. Unfortunately, another life lesson. So Z4T0X is going to check the bumper cave while Evanidus is going to head into Eastern Palace. And oh, mirror!
Mirror? Well, hot dog, that's a good item.
Wow, that's not often you see something in the Bonk Cave, but I'll take it.
Yeah, meanwhile, as we mentioned, Evanidus checking out Eastern Palace. As Z4T0X is going to go for a sequence break without a sword. This could be interesting because he doesn't have really a reliable way to test the boundaries here of the dark room. Using the fire rod.
Definitely an interesting method. It's going to be tricky, and it's also a lot of magic usage there, but looks like he's not having too much trouble. Evanidus is now going to make his way through Eastern Palace. He's already found a piece of heart, and we find another 50 rupees, unfortunately, not paying off. So he's got one more unique item to find, and then he's probably going to nope out of there, unless, of course, it's locked behind the Armos Knights.
Now, unfortunately, it is possible to incinerate the old man. And in which case, it's just game over. Yeah, that's a joke. Not a very good joke. But the old man, he's alive and well. He gives us a little bit of love for our trouble. And apparently, no worse for wear. So that's good.
Yeah, but Z4T0X he's taking that mirror as a key. There's the big key for Evanidus, but Z4T0X going to use that mirror as a clue. He's going to head up to Tower of Hera. That is a crystal dungeon, but without a sword or hammer, he can't do much up there. So let's see what he finds along the way. Bombs on Spectacle Rock. Let's see what's in the Spectacle Rock cave, and we got just a piece of heart. And it looks like Evanidus found the last item in Eastern Palace. Wasn't anything useful, so he is noping right on out of there. Dragon Wizard, Hera is a sequence break because they need the lamp to get up there, technically. By the logic, they have to have the lamp in order to get up there. Because he did it without the lamp, that is a sequence break. Also, the flute can be used. Neither of those have been found.
And we had a map check there by Z4T0X. Crystal 5, is it Skull Woods? 6, is it Ice Palace? And I believe the red pendant was Palace of Darkness.
Ooh, that's nasty. That's a rough one. So Evanidus now finally going to make the plan to escape. Z4T0X finding the big key early in Hera. That's always helpful. Reduces the chance of a basement run, but doesn't guarantee that won't happen.
Yeah, and
so big 20 for...
He can check the remainder of these chests here in Hera. As you said, can't finish off Moldorm, though. And, he's... At this point, I don't think he's going to luck his way into a sword or a hammer to finish the dungeon. And without any magic, actually, he has no weapons. He's got to save and quit. Interesting. That might help him, actually, because that might have just been a waste of time at this point. I think might be on the right track.
Yeah, that was a big gamble there, and I think he's going to follow Evanidus and head into escape as well. So let's see what else Evanidus finds hiding in there. We still haven't found everything yet. I still don't even think we found the map yet. Oh, no, we found the map. We found the small key. So, oh, hammer! Stop! Hammer time!
And so, however, briefly here, Evanidus has made the correct call and taken, a small advantage in terms of just having a little bit of progression over Z4T0X. So now, if you were to sequence break up to Hera, at least you'd be able to clear the dungeon out and, see what is behind Moldorm potentially.
All right, so look, there's one last item to find here in the escape. Hopefully he can find it within Zelda's treasure chest as he takes out this guard here. But that hammer is going to open up some possibilities. let's see what else he finds. And we have just a big 20, but at least that's the last item.
And unless Z4T0X finds some magic here, he's going to have to go to bomb stretch. He does have plenty of bombs, but still, going to take a little bit of time away.
Now, hopefully Evanidus does remember to check that bonk cave, because that's got the mirror. He needs that. But for right now, it looks like he's going to be making his way... Oh, he's taking his cue. He's going to the Dark World. He has a hammer and a mitt and a glove, so he's going to check the Dark World. And I think his first stop might be the location formerly known as the Hype Cave.
And there's a decent possibility that we may find a decent little item here in Hype Cave, and maybe the hype will be restored. Make Hype Cave great again.
I'm going to pretend you did not say that. We got a big 20 from the thief. Let's see what we got in here. We've got another big 20, single green rupee, heart container, and 10 arrows. Nope, trash cave. Yeah. I blame you for that.
Yeah, I'll accept that blame. That was pretty trashy, and somebody's got to be blamed. And if it's me, then so be it.
Yeah, the chat calling Sleeper Cave. Don't blame you, folks. Yeah, I'm calling that commentator's curse. I agree with you, Big Dunka.
And so we've got an interesting divergence here. Z4T0X going to stick around on Death Mountain, going to presumably go back up to Hera and finish off Moldorm with the hammer. As we see 20 rupees from the Stump Kid.
Yeah, still not finding much, but he's going to head over and head to the digging game. Let's see what good old Alec Baldwin's got for us today. Just a 5-bomb upgrade, unfortunately. Not much there. Oh, dude, I'm stealing that. Prince Cave. That's what we're calling it now, the Prince Cave. I like that.
Yeah, R.I.P. though. I mean, come on.
True. Rest in peace, but come on. You know, the joke works. And Evanidus heading to the Bonk Cave. He's going to be very happy with what he finds in there.
And we will see what Z4T0X uncovers here in Hera. 50 rupees there. Not going to try a very tricky bomb jump without a sword here to help set up. So shouldn't be too much of a deterrent.
Nope, he gets it in just the compass.
Yeah. Well, nevertheless, he gets a couple of brownie points from me for, execution there. And proceeding on to Moldorm, almost there with the hammer.
It's going to be tricky. He's only got the hammer, and he's got green mail, plus it's Trolldorm. We call him that for a reason. If you play this game, you know why. But he gets 3 solid hits on him. Takes him out no problem. And gets a small key, which means...
Ooh.
I'm doing my math. No. Yeah, if I'm doing my math, I think there's still an item in the basement.
Yeah, I think there is an item in the basement because I think the vanilla big key chest... I think
it's the map.
Yeah. Yeah. So, Z4T0X, I don't know if it's a good call at this point. I mean, it's a hard item to leave behind, so he's going to go back for it. But, this is a sequence break, and if you're a slave to the logic, then it certainly isn't pointing you here right now.
Yeah.
But it's an item location, so maybe he decided that he'd like to go grab a coffee, and that's what we'll see here.
Yep, so is he gonna set up actual coffee break strats, or is he just gonna play a game of dodge tile? He's gonna set up a coffee break. Anyone need to go to the bathroom? Now's a good time.
I'm already there.
All right, Evanidus now checking the chest game, finds a heart container in there. That's always helpful.
Well, let's not overlook that little heart piece as well. That's a pretty sweet item. Okay, moment of truth for Z4T0X.
Just a big 20.
Yeah, I don't think that's how he drew that one up in the huddle.
But he does have the hammer, so he's going to opt to go to East Death Mountain now. He's got at least several items you can find over there. 8 items total, because you have the Paradox Cave and you have the Spiral Cave, which, given the boost, will not be a sleeper cave.
I did not see what was on the island there as he gets blocked by that squirrel.
Yeah, getting dead rocked.
Whew. Yeah, as much as the boots are nice here in Spiral Cave, not having a sword still makes it sort of difficult, as we see.
That is very true. It's not full sleeper cave, but it's pretty close. But nonetheless, he gets through the Spiral Cave. Let's see what he gets for it here. We have just another big 20. Meanwhile, Evanidus is going to start his run in Thieves Town. 4 items early on in these first 4 chests. Guaranteed one of them is going to be the big key. Let's see what else he finds. The bow!
Yeah, so right now, Evanidus is taking a pretty significant advantage here in terms of just, the number of items collected and more or less just going to the right place, where Z4T0X has kind of gambled here on a sequence break. And so far, it's not paid off, but there's still a lot of items coming up to check here, so maybe he'll get something good that'll give him an advantage back.
Indeed. Heart Container and Big 20 in the first part of Paradox Cave. Evanidus now heading his way through, and also finds the shovel. Not bad. Oh, we found literacy in the Paradox Cave. Okay. Oh, that might throw him off course.
Ooh, and running low on health, too. Gonna have to use the fire rod in this mini Moldorm. Oh, he's evasive. Oh!
Oh, this Moldorm is as trolly as his older cousin.
He's got bombs, but he's lining up for the hammer. Got him.
Nicely done. But unfortunately, oh, you found the sinker arrow at least.
At least there's that.
Evanidus now having to be very careful here on the hellway. Never a fun hallway to go through.
Okay, now Z4T0X is going to cover the foot tracks here of Evanidus a bit. Check the not-so-hype cave, the Prince Cave, as we've come to call it here in this particular game, this race. As Evanidus continues to expand a little bit of a lead here going throughout Thieves Town.
Not finding much upstairs here in Thieves Town, but he's going to set up the blind hole. Make sure you get that light shining through. And yes, Frostman, that is we've got a Cerno sprite there from Toho here from Evanidus. I think Z4T0X is using old school Link, I think is what that is, because of the hair color. Could be wrong. I don't know all the new sprites. There was a lot of them added in version 27. Oh, 80s cartoon Link. Ah, I get it. Well, excuse me, princess. Also, if you guys want to laugh, just as I said that, my wife was behind me and whacked me upside the head.
You have a wife? I'm just kidding. My bad, man.
That's all right. I've heard worse.
Hi there.
Oh, hello.
Anyway, Evanidus rescuing the main.
All right.
Oh, lamp in Agnes Cave.
And see, that item was there all along. So really, I mean, as much of a sequence break as it was, it's not that hard to believe that the game would want you to go up on Death Mountain relatively early. So that's got to be a somewhat of a comfort for Z4T0X. The lamp doesn't do him a whole lot of good now, aside from illuminating some dark rooms. But still, as he's going to make his way into Desert Palace, Evanidus battling with blind onto the second phase using the hammer strats, losing a bit of the sequence here.
Yeah, it's a bit tricky, especially when you have to rely on the hammer. So it's, you know, definitely hard. That range is terrible on that hammer, even though the damage is normally good. But that don't matter for blind, so he doesn't care. But nonetheless, he gets through it.
Well played. All right, so Z4T0X is giving us our first look here at Desert Palace.
300 rupees there in that first chest. Not much finding so far. Let's see what's on the torch. Thankfully, they have the boots, so this won't be boots locked. And it's the small key.
Check Bumper Cave from Evanidus.
We'll find out if they need to get that cape later. Nope, piece of heart.
And I think neither of us have pointed out yet. Maybe you have. My apologies if you have, but we are still looking for our first sword. I've seen, seeds go, close to an hour without a sword, but it still seems a bit unbelievable every time I see it go this long.
Yeah, no kidding. It is very weird to see that happen. We have, even when the last seed I ran where it did take at least 40 minutes to find a sword, we had seen where swords were early on. We just couldn't get to them. But here, we haven't even seen hide nor hair of any of them. And we've got 50 rupees there hiding out. I think that's actually both items in Skull Woods, so Skull Woods completely empty. I could be wrong, though. I think I may have been mistaking that for Desert Palace.
Well, Evanidus is going to continue the search as Z4T0X is going to go the roundabout way here. It's actually, are we getting a pedestal check?
We are! We're getting a pedestal check! Woo! Are we going to see some pedestal hype? What do we got?
Oh, come on!
Just Couch Cast! Whap, 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 whap.
Woof. Man, that hype inflated and deflated so fast.
No kidding.
All right, so Evanidus trudging on deeper into Skull. Gonna go ahead and just get the Gyptos out of the way. Hang on. Yeah, there he goes. Got the Wallmaster gone. That Fire Rod, pretty useful there. And as I see somebody pointing out in chat, yeah, so a sword is required to even get to Mothula. You have to slash at a couple of vines. So that's an important thing to note as Evanidus picks up yet another small key.
So the question is, where is our first sword? We have no clue.
Yeah, where's our first sword? Where are the flippers? I'm starting to think maybe someplace like Pendant Pod is somewhere that needs to be checked pretty soon.
Ooh, that would be particularly trolly, because now especially since Z4T0X knows that the pedestal seed is dead, he may be less inclined to check those pendant dungeons.
Yeah, but I mean, you're running out of some spots. Certainly for Z4T0X, who's cleared out all of Light World, Death Mountain. And you've got your lamp, you've got your hammer, you've got your bow. It seems like Pod might be a place you need to check out, but we'll see. There's still some other stuff to do.
There's the big key for Skull Woods, pretty far back there. He was just lucky he found it before he got to Mothula.
And I think now we might be getting the no ped check on Evanidus' side. Of course, he doesn't have the book. I forgot he'd not been up to Paradox Cave on Death Mountain. Meanwhile, Z4T0X getting the bow.
Yep, he's happy with that, I'm sure. Now, funny enough, the bow is not technically required since both Eastern and Pod are not only pendants, but not the green pendant either. So, kind of useless in this case. Also, shout out to our tracker dude with the $4.99 sub and Kana Burna in the big chest.
Yeah, the bow might be required in a couple of ways here. I always forget as well that, of course, you need it in Ganon's Tower to take on those red mimics once you begin the gauntlet. But in addition to that, you know, it's still possible that you might need to defeat Armos or potentially, you know, get to Helmasaur and pick up an item they might be holding. But I know what you mean. It is unusual whenever you see a pendant Pod and pendant Eastern. You're like, okay, great, bow.
Okay, yeah, I'll retract my statement, and it's not required prior to Ganon's Tower. All right, I will change my statement, but still, that is a weird. Yeah, like you said, that's weird. Evanidus now going to check the graveyard cave. We'll see what's hiding out in there.
Still a highly useful item, of course, because anytime you go to, say, you know, Vitreous or whatever, you love to have silvers and a bow. But, of course, the bow is really, aside from the fact that the players both have it, it's, you know, all the attention in there for their part is probably on the flippers at this time. So where are those flips?
Not sure. Evanidus going to check the King's Tomb now, since he has the mirror to get to it and the boots. And what do we find? Just a 5-bomb upgrade. Nothing.
Oh, that would have been sneaky if the flippers were in there. I forgot you could backdoor into there with the mirror. That was a good play by Evanidus. I like that.
Yeah, I've seen that done quite frequently, so I wasn't surprised by it. But still, it's always good to get that out of the way if you're right there and knock them both out at once.
Well, I am often surprised and never sure of what I'm seeing. Just a day in the life.
We learn something new every day, my friend. Evanidus now going to make the play into Death Mountain. He does not know where the lamp is, even though it's somewhere he can easily get to. So that's going to be surprising. He's going to use the arrows to guide him through this time.
Yeah, it's always interesting. If you get enough progression early on, Agina's cave gets put off sometimes for a long time. Z4T0X, you know, getting that book was good because it sent him back to the desert, so he was able to check it. But if there's ever a really significant item at Agina, and it gets overlooked for a while, I mean, that can be a real backbreaker. I don't think that's going to be the case here, but it's just interesting to note that is sometimes the case. And so an interesting thing here, beg your pardon, I wasn't paying really close attention. Did Evanidus check the dig spot?
No, I don't think he did yet.
Yeah, with the mirror and everything, I think, you know, there might be a nice... I guess you can't do the purple chest because you don't have the mitts, but maybe Z4T0X makes his way down to the dig spot. It'll be interesting to see what he does here after Thieves Town.
Absolutely. There's a lot of potential places they haven't checked yet, and very often there's that one spot. There's always that one place that you leave behind, and it ends up coming back to bite you. I've seen it in almost every race I've commentated.
Ooh, trouble at blind for Z4T0X. No!
Z4T0X taking a death on blind. That is doubly painful. Not only does he have to go back to blind, but blind will now be set up to make it even harder to finish him off because now it puts him in front of you. Whereas when you normally start, you can get behind him to make it a little easier.
Yeah, and he's just not in the mood to do it right now without the sword, and I don't blame him. There's other things he can do, but you're right. I mean, that's going to be thankfully, it's not quite the same as like Cold Stare or Trinex without using the warp point. It's not a long journey to get back there once you go to the dungeon, but nevertheless, it's going to be a bit of a time sink for him as he's checking a location we've not seen, but it's just 300 rupees. No big deal.
Oop, Evanidus accidentally hit the floor switch there, reversed the hole, so he's going to have to go back around. Z4T0X now going to mirror over to the Sacred Grove and check that dig spot. Also picking up his 20 bucks from Stumpy. And oh, flippers!
Wow. Wow. What are those?
Wow, who would have saw that coming? Woo-hoo-hoo!
All right, so that's it's a big thing for Z4T0X there. It's going to go immediately to Lake Hylia, pick up his flips, and then from there, still a bit limited without that sword, but at least there's a whole lot of locations he can check. I guess that's the silver lining there.
Yeah. Oh, man. This seed is starting to pick up some steam now. I'm still saying this is not a shade seed because they've been having to struggle to find items for most of this run. This has just been a trolley seed through and through. But admittedly, a lot of that trolling is coming from their own end because a lot of these items they could have found a lot sooner than they did. They just haven't bothered to check. Evanidus finishing off Moldorm, picking up his small key. He's going to probably check the basement as well. Not going to be happy with what he finds there. And Z4T0X looks like he's making the play on Pod and Eastern. Or at least Pod, because they've already checked Eastern. But he's making the play on Pod. It is a pendant dungeon, but there's a lot of items in there, and it's a very good place to find the progression items, so I don't blame him for making this call.
Yeah, I mean, when you're swordless and you're starting to think about diving into Ice Palace, that sort of thing, you've got to remedy that swordless situation. And so going into Pod is a totally reasonable decision, even though he does have the knowledge that there's nothing on the pedestal. So really collecting the pendant is not immediately going to be useful for him. But yeah, I still support this decision. Collecting just a tiny increment of magic that may help him here, uses it right away. They're really having to pull out all the stops here without a sword.
Absolutely, and Z4T0X now, he's going to mirror over to Sahasala. He has not checked that, so he's going to be getting his Ether medallion here shortly. Not a bad call to make, and then, of course, he's going to have to pay a visit to everyone's favorite extortionist, Kiki the Monkey. Another 110 rupees down the drain.
Fortunately, that 50 rupees will soften the blow just a little bit for Z4T0X. As Evanidus is out of the Tower of Hera, I imagine, going to be making the same play heading on over to East Death Mountain. So, Evanidus will be collecting the book. And I think that was about it, honestly.
Yeah, that's the only thing I remember being in the Paradox Cave. But given what he's got, he could also make the play into the Dark Death Mountain because he could act. Oh no, wait, no, he needs the mitts for that. Never mind.
Getting really hammered by those dead rocks.
No kidding. Fisher Price shield for Z4T0X over in Pod. Not a bad start. Thankfully, he's got the bow and the hammer, so this would normally have locked him out, but he is good to go and keep moving forward.
And shout out to chat for filling us in. Actually, our tracker, I believe, filling us in on the heart container on the floating island, which had escaped my my view twice now.
Yep, that's our tracker, dude. He's a really cool guy. Actually, it's Math Girl that's doing it now. Yeah, Math Girl. My apologies. Wow, we had a little bit of mix up earlier this afternoon. It was going to be dude, and then Math Girl finally jumped in. So, Math Girl, awesome person also as well. My apologies. I'm sorry.
Better check those numbers, Shades.
Yeah, I think I've been caught slipping. My apologies. It's been a busy afternoon, okay? My mind went blank.
And above all else, let's hope that Evanidus discovers some health. Yes! Get rid of that beeping.
That's never fun.
I feel like there should be a mode of randomizer where for every second that you're beeping on low health, you should have a second added on to your final time.
Oh, I think a lot of runners would probably kill us after that.
Yeah, I don't think that'd be very popular with runners.
And Evanidus deciding to use the Cane of Burna to get through that Paradox Cave with the Mold Orms a lot faster than what Z4T0X had to go through.
And we found our second shield upgrade now in Pod. And, oh, actually, that's our first bottle. Amazing how that had not occurred to me yet. But that was our very first bottle, and it's filled with green goo. So nice magic refill.
Indeed, it's a Mountain Dew coming from Pod here.
So Z4T0X gonna do the dark room.
And just after we do the do, Evanidus picking up his flips. By the way, have you heard that they actually did you know they released a holiday edition of Mountain Dew that's just a mix of regular Mountain Dew and Code Red?
That sounds horrible.
It's actually not that bad. Also, powder in Pod there for Z4T0X.
The powder. That's besides being a nice safety, that does open up one item location. And the compass is on Helmosaur, so no reason to go any farther, I don't think, unless he's missed a chest along the way.
I think he realized he hasn't missed anything, so he's done in Pod. Didn't find anything huge, but aside from the powder and some shields and a bottle, so there's a couple places to check, but nothing progression-wise.
Yeah. I guess the one good thing that comes out of that is that at least his two fetch quests take him to the same area. They're going to take him back to Kakariko Village. Although, yeah, he can access the bat. He does not need the Titan's Mitts to get to that. Just had to do a little.
No, he can use the mirror to get to that. And he's got the Titan's Mitts anyway, so he's good.
Yeah,
he's got everything he needs to check the bat.
Oh, yeah, a constant state of confusion.
That's why we have our tracker. That's why we have Math Girl. She's helping us out. I'm making sure I get the name right so I don't get that. I don't need to be called out again. Done enough damage already today. Evanidus picking up his lamp from Agnes Cave, and he's going to be heading into desert now.
And I'll have to keep a closer watch here because I think one of the reasons Z4T0X left earlier was not necessarily... It may have been for a couple of reasons. It may have been because he didn't have a reliable weapon for Landmolus. I think that might have been a big part of it. It also might have been because he had discovered both unique items that were in desert and decided that it wasn't worth it at the time to collect the green pendant.
It might have been, and we get big 20 from the sick kid, so that's not paying out yet, but he's still got the magic powder, so he's probably going to check the Bat Cave. He might even opt to do Swordsmith and Purple Chest while he's in the area too, plus Peg Cave, so there's quite a few items he can check there.
Yep, you called it. Gonna free the Frogsmith.
Time to take Jeremiah home.
Get him back to working on that baguette.
In case anyone wondered, what do we call Jeremiah? Well, Jeremiah was a bullfrog. Props to anyone who actually gets to that joke.
Yeah, my problem with it is that I think he's very clearly a toad. I mean, it's a fine joke. I just, being the humorless guy that I am, just can't get over the fact that I think that he's a toad. He's got some toad-like qualities. And so it's just, it keeps me up at night.
So basically, you're like Drax the Destroyer from Guardians of the Galaxy. Jokes just go right over your head.
Right over my head. Which makes us a bit of an odd couple, honestly. But interesting moment here. Z4T0X is use that powder.
Yep, gonna check the Bat Cave. What does the Bat have for us today? Just a piece of heart. Mandamar, if you want to help out here, the Discord link is in the description below. Check the tournament rules for the link to the past randomizer tournament. That'll help you get started on where to sign up. I don't think we're going to be needing much in the way of commentary, but we're always looking for trackers and restreamers, so please feel free to sign up. We can use all the help we can get.
And Evanidus is going to give us our first pyramid check.
Oh, very interesting.
Yeah, another location that sometimes gets pushed back to the back burner.
Also, to answer Bayberg, LOL, the reason, it was Eladriel. The reason why Z4T0X does not hammer dash is you need the sword to hammer dash. Ooh, silver's on the pyramid!
Evanidus will gladly pick those up.
Absolutely. But yeah, you need a sword in order to hammer dash. So if you do not have a sword, you have to do it the slow way. Otherwise, he would be hammer dashing. Trust me. All of our runners know how to do it. I don't even do randomizer that much. I know how to hammer dash.
And my attention was drawn away from Gary for just a second. I think I saw an arrow upgrade, but I'm not sure. Now our tracker indicating that it might have been Quake.
Oh, the bacon coin. That's always fun. And yet still no sword. We are at 47 minutes in and we still don't have a sword. We don't even know where one is.
And Z4T0X looking like they might be making a play into Swamp.
Well, they wouldn't get very far doing that, considering they don't have the hook shot.
Could be Ice Palace.
No, he would have gone the other way into Ice Palace. Where is he going? Oh, I think he's going the back way. He's going to check Catfish. He hasn't checked that yet.
Yeah, okay. While Evanidus, again, perilously low on health, going to make their way into the Palace of Darkness. Not a whole lot there to discover, but the powder and the bottle should keep them busy for a little while. If they choose to clear it all the way through, which I think that will be the case.
Oh, and I got to call out Ron Sude. 3 swords and Turtle Rock. That is cruel and unusual punishment, sir.
Yeah, so we know that the pedestal doesn't hold anything for us, and we know that, for example, the red pendant of Pod is more or less worthless because Helmasaur only has the compass. So, beginning to look through the items that we need that we do not have, we're talking about the hook shot, we're talking about the Cane of Samaria, Ice Rod as Evanidus takes a death, might have been intentional, I didn't see clearly what was going on. The flute going to be required, so a lot of items still out there. Z4T0X picks up the silver arrows.
Yeah, at this point, I'm officially calling this is not a Shade Seed. Shade Seed, like I said earlier, you get a lot of good items early on, but there ends up being one item at the end that just trolls you. Here, we've got a lot of items trolling our runners. This is a full-on troll seed, folks. Z4T0X opting to stop in over at the bottle vendor, or the potion vendor. He's going to pick up a blue potion, making sure he's prepped up just in case he needs it. And considering they only still have green mail, probably not a bad idea. That's another thing. No mail upgrades either. All of these items we found so far, all these chests we've opened, no sword upgrades, no mail upgrades, and all the other items we're still missing. This is insane.
Yeah, it's really a matter of time before they happen into the right dungeon where, items just start flooding their way. And, realistically, if you want to talk about that being the case, the most realistic place that would happen is, Turtle Rock, just because of the number of chests that are there.
That's absolutely true, though. I think there's a couple of places we can check. Honestly, with the places they can go to right now, Ice Palace seems like the play. They have the fire rod, they have the hammer. That would probably be their next stop at some point.
And Z4T0X, defying conventional wisdom, perhaps he's going to go check out Death Mountain once again. Perhaps doing the dark part of it now. Also, maybe checking the ether tablet.
That's true. He can check that, even though he can't pick up the item on the ether tablet. He can check it for knowledge and find out if he has to come back for it later.
I should have taken better note of this. Perhaps chat knows. I haven't seen anybody mention it, so it must be nothing. But I do recall on his way to Desert long ago now, Z4T0X checked out the Bombos tablet, and I saw some text, but I did not see. I didn't get an indication of what it was.
He's gonna check this one, just a piece of love, so nothing on the ether tablet. Oh, there was a mail upgrade on the Bombos tablet.
All right, okay. Thank you, chat.
Honestly, I don't know if they'll go back for that. I mean, if they find the blue mail along the way, I would be shocked if they go back for it, because they really don't need it at that point.
Yeah, that's not something that people are going to go out of their way to get, I don't think.
Now, chat pointing, I don't know if this is true or not, but I think there is one chest in Hookshot Cave that can be checked by using a bonk technique, and I believe the logic does account for that. I'm not 100% sure, and if that is, there is a small chance a hookshot could be on the Hookshot Cave. Oh, Turtle Rock with Ether Medallion. He has the medallion, but he doesn't have a sword, so he can't activate it.
Yeah, and also no cane, so double whammy there for Z4T0X. Gonna go ahead and check that first item in Hookshot Cave as you were mentioning a second ago. Again, 52 minutes in and no sword.
Riot Shield!
Oh my gosh. Well, we are fully decked out in our defensive accoutrement, but we have no weapon to wield.
Oh, this is painful to watch. When are we gonna find a sword? Will it be in the Super Bunny Cave? There's the red meringue. And there's a 10-bomb upgrade, so no, nothing in Dark Death Mountain.
So I think now is a decent time to bring it up. The longest I've ever seen a seed go in open mode randomizer was a match earlier in the Swiss stage of the tournament between Christos Owen and Ben, I think, when they went, I think, just under an hour before they got their first sword.
And we are right now on track to top that number because we are almost at an hour now. We're at 53 minutes, and we still have not even found a hint of a sword. There's got to be something in Ice Palace. That has to be the play, and that is where Z4T0X is going. Let's see if we finally find a sword.
And, interestingly, correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't know that our runners ever made it back to the sewers, that part of Escape, because I know they got the key out of the back part of Escape.
Oh my god, you're right. If there's a sword in the Stark Room sewers, that is going to be cruel, because they have not checked that yet. No, map was in the map for the escape was in the sanctuary chest. I remember that. But oh, this seed.
Again, more inquiries pouring in from chat. We did see the King's Tomb checked. It was checked by Evanidus before. Well, they still don't have the mitts apparently. Before the mitts, they mirrored into the back part there, the sneaky route.
Evanidus now turning in his spottle to the butt-sick kid, only getting his 20 bucks for his troubles. Mad King Midas, I'm going to tell you right now, I've seen that. At the very least, I've seen someone hit go mode without Master Sword and not be able to find Master Sword until after completing Ganon's Tower. I had that just the other night. It was ridiculous. What's even worse is it was in a place they could have easily gotten to or much earlier on, and they just left it behind because it was in the mirror cave. Evanidus now doing his for his pedestal check. He's going to be disappointed with what he finds there. Then again, he might also be relieved to know he's not going to waste his time with that.
Yeah, just confirming that not going on to Helmasaur was the correct play, but you know, now there's a whole nother set of options here to explore.
Also, to clarify, I call it the mirror cave is the cave directly beneath the sacred grove. I call it the mirror cave because you need the mirror to get to it. There's no other way to get there, so it's the mirror cave.
So Evanidus, fortunately, you know, I think knew the mitts were there already, but I can't confirm that either way. Knows it now. And interestingly, you know, I thought that Evanidus had the Moon Pearl earlier when they went and checked Zora, unless that was Z4T0X, and Evanidus never did that.
I think Evanidus just never did that because he had the Moon Pearl. They got the Moon Pearl pretty early on. He could have done this if it fake flippered. But this actually could give Evanidus an advantage because now he'll have both the cape and the cane. He could check Spike Cave. And I'm pretty sure Evanidus would at least pick up the cape. There's our first sword! Z4T0X fighting the fighter sword in Ice Palace.
In all of its beautiful plastic glory. And so Evanidus electing to forego the cape for now. Go ahead.
Yeah, Z4T0X, yeah, 56-26. That's how long it took for us to find a flippin' sword.
And so I believe it's the case still, though, that, and not that it matters because we know the contents of both the tablets, and unless they really want that mail upgrade, they won't be going to get it. But, you know, you can't get that without a Master Sword. You can use a medallion with just the Fighter Sword, but you still can't access a tablet without at least a Tier 2 sword.
That is correct. Compass there for Z4T0X and Ice Palace. Where is Evanidus going? Is he gonna make... I think he's gonna pick up his Titan's Mitts now.
And it's reasonable to assume that while, you know, Evanidus is in the area... Well, hang on. What is this? That's not the direction of the Titan's Mitts.
Where are you going, Evanidus?
Evanidus is apparently playing some 3D chess.
Z4T0X now setting up for one of the more complex bomb jumps here in this game. You got to get it near perfectly, and doesn't quite get it the first try.
Yeah, this is a part of Ice Palace that the key, you know, the key distribution dictates you pretty much need to have the hook shot here, and you can. Oh, there it goes, nicely done.
2 shots, not bad. Evanidus now going to heal up and stock up on another potion to be prepared. Not a bad call to make, especially the way his health's been this run.
Yeah, and to answer an inquiry in chat, Evanidus did see, unless what was on his screen was not plainly apparent to him, he did see that the Titan's Mitts were on Lake Hylia, and I suspect that's exactly where he's going right now. Just wanted to take a quick detour and, you know, catch the seasonal scenery of North Hyrule. Beautiful this time of year.
All right, so Z4T0X now making his way downstairs back through Ice Palace, checks the last chest. I believe that's the last one he's can find, unless he hasn't checked the big chest yet. Finds a small key. He's got all the dungeon items, so at this point, I think there's still the big chest in Cold Stare, and I think only one of them will have an item, if not both. Evanidus now entering Ice Palace. He'll be finding his sword before long. And what's in the big chest? 10 arrows. So unless there's still a small key remaining, I believe the final item's on Cold Stare.
Ooh, untimely bunny beam there.
Yeah, that's never fun to deal with.
Yeah, not even having the opportunity to take damage to get out of it.
But it does allow him to get some magic and heal up before his fight with Cold Stare. He's going to need the magic because he's got to use the Fire Rod, and he doesn't have half magic to work with here, so it's going to be tricky, but not too difficult, though. Fighter Sword, Cold Stare, not going to be fun. It's going to rely on hammer strats here. Going to be a little trickier. Couldn't quite get him in the corner because it's better with a sword to do that, but it can be done. But with the hammer, he should be able to take these guys out without too much trouble. Just got to be careful of those ice blocks.
Yeah, so far so good. And of course, does have that blue potion. Z4T0X would prefer not to use that. Nice to have that in the back pocket and not have to make another trip up to the witches. But, you know, so far so good. Got one of the puffballs down. I think he'll cruise through the rest of this here. Knocking on wood.
And there he goes. Z4T0X taking him out and finds. There's the last small key. So that's the second. Again, an hour in, and we just now got our second crystal. That's how trolly this seed has been. That it took us an hour to get 2 crystals.
Yeah, but importantly, it is one of the Pyramid Fairy crystals, so that factors in well for them. And Skull Woods is the other, so Z4T0X can go complete that right now. Wouldn't be a bad call.
Though Evanidus technically does have a slight lead crystallized because he completed Thieves Town. So when he defeats Cold Stare, he'll be ahead.
Yeah, that is a good point. I had forgotten that Z4T0X took a death to blind, but you know, he could go wrap that up right now just to get it out of the way. He's kind of in the area. It'll never be convenient because it's a double dip into Thieves Town after a death to blind. But if you're ever going to do it, now wouldn't be a bad time.
And I think that's exactly what he's going to do because he's heading there right now.
Yeah. And I imagine after that, Skull Woods is a pretty appealing play. You have that sword now so you can get to Mothula. Now, you don't have half magic or anything, so you can't just spam the Fire Rod. But, you know, you've got a reasonable amount of health. I think that it shouldn't be too much of an ask for a fighter of this caliber, or runner of this caliber.
It'd be tricky, but it can be done. But we'll see what happens. Z4T0X now going to re-enter his fight with Blind, which means this will put him in a slight lead because after this, he'll have the same crystals that Evanidus does and be in position to pick up a 4th very quickly. Oh, and Evanidus not going to waste any time. He's going to use his ether tablet, his ether medallion, to take out these jellyfish. And Z4T0X finishing off Blind relatively easily.
Interesting strategy there by Evanidus to get himself right to the edge of the platform with the hammer dash. And
Clever
beautifully
move.
done. Yeah, well
Worked
done.
out well for him. Got it first shot. He kind of had to. He only had 1 bomb. That was his only shot.
I did not
make that one count.
Did not realize that. That is amazing. Very well done.
And Z4T0X now heading up to Skull Woods. He is indeed going to make the play on Mothula, hoping to find. We've already found both items in Skull Woods. So this is just for the crystal, but it is a crystal, so might as well get it done and over with.
Yeah, Pyramid Fairy could yield something after that, so Z4T0X is going to go ahead and knock it off the list. And it looks like we might have a simultaneous Mothula and Cold Stare fights going on. Z4T0X may get there a little bit earlier.
We shall see soon enough. So let's see. After this, what do we have left? We've got Swamp Palace, but we still need a hook shot for that. We need to have Misery Mire, but we don't know where the red cane is. And for that matter, we also don't have Turtle Rock because of that. There's only two options I see being happening here. Either you check Desert Palace or Skull Woods or Misery Mire. There's three options. Desert Palace to get the green pendant and hope that Sir Hostile has something. Or you take a gamble on either Swamp Palace or Misery Mire to hope one of them has the item you're looking for.
Yeah, and with so many outstanding items, including, the flute, the hook shot, the ice rod, and the red cane, you need the ice rod and the red cane if you're going to clear Turtle Rock. You just need the cane if you're going to clear Misery Mire, depending on what the medallion is, but also you need the flute to even get there. It's starting to seem to me that unless Moth in the pyramid yields something incredible, it seems realistic that you're going to have to maybe double dip into Swamp. It might be a required double dip, which is probably everyone's least favorite double dip just because you have to drain the dam and all that stuff, mirror into the dark world, or light world, beg your pardon. It's really inconvenient and a bit of a time sink, but it could be the case.
Definitely seems that way. So let's see what Z4T0X does as he finishes off Mothra, gets the other half of the Pyramid Fairy crystals. That's obviously going to be his next play, but what does he decide to do after that will depend on what he finds there.
And interestingly, Evanidus passing up on that big chest. Now, there was an item in there. It was just 10 arrows, but interesting call there. Maybe miscounted as dungeon items. I'm not sure.
Yep, and Z4T0X going back because he did not pick up the blue can. I just realized that was Evanidus that did that. Z4T0X did not, so he's going to go back, get the big key from the chest, and then stop over and pick up the blue cane from the big chest.
Ooh, and having to down that blue potion just to get past phase 1 of Cold Stare. Evanidus still one more fire rod there. Ooh, and missing a spin slash.
Oh, he's in trouble. He's in trouble. This is going to be close. He does not want to die here. This is one of the worst bosses to die to because getting back... Oh, no!
Oh, my gosh. Ooh.
That is the worst. Going back to Cold Stare means you have to start at the very beginning of the dungeon. That takes a long time to get back to. That is very painful.
Yeah, that is rough. And, gosh, as we take some time to let that one sink in, good point by the chat saying that he did not have bombs, so he could not drop in on the big chest, and did not have the hook shot, so he couldn't, go over the blocks. So that is why he didn't check the big chest when he had the opportunity. But yeah, that is not a death you want to take. Not that you want to take a lot of deaths, but if you're going to take a death at a boss, blind is much preferable to Cold Stare.
All right, so Z4T0X, I don't know if he realizes what he's got. He has not checked the Pyramid Fairy just yet, but we'll see what happens. I think that's his play that he's about to make. And yeah, you know what, Black Death Doom, this could cost him the race because that is a huge time sink to get back to, and it is a crystal dungeon, so he will have to get back to it, especially if, as I suspect, the Pyramid Fairy has something. If it does, this is going to cost him a huge amount of time.
Yeah, and as we run out of the problem with a death like that is that you can kind of get away with that earlier on in a game, but the more a game goes on, even if both players are relatively even in dungeon count or the items they have to progress into other dungeons, knowing that you have to go back and complete that is a bigger deal later in a seed, because sooner rather than later, you're going to uncover the other items you need. And, just by virtue of the fact that there are fewer locations to check, Z4T0X is going to grab a pretty significant advantage, barring something unforeseen.
All All right, let's see what the Pyramid Fairy has. There's 2 chests in here, 2 potential items, and we find Heart Piece and Arrow Upgrade. Oh, debated.
Yeah, not what he was looking for there.
Nope. This means he's going to have to either take the chance on Land Mollusk and the Green Pendant, or he's going to have to double dip into into Swamp. Wait, where's... He's gone into Pod, hasn't he? Where? No, I don't think he has.
Yeah, I think he did because that's where he got 2 of his shield upgrades.
Oh, that's right. What is he doing?
This is confounding. Unless he's going to mirror and go into Eastern, but yeah, I don't know if the Z4T0X ever checked Eastern. Which
he's going into Pod.
This is strange. A quick pause to show that he's got everything but the compass, though.
Yeah, and so that means the only thing Helmasar King could have is the compass and the pendant, which we know isn't required because this is not a pedestal seed. We've already checked it.
Yeah, maybe he thinks that this is the green pendant?
Oh, this is going to hurt. If there was ever a chance for Evanidus to catch up, this could very well be it.
Yeah, this is gift-wrapped, an opportunity for Evanidus to make up a little bit of time because this is a complete waste of time. And it's rare that I have the certainty to say something like that, and I'm not trying to dog Z4T0X at all, because, you know, amazing runner, far more talented than I. But yeah, this is just a mistake, quite clearly.
And they're saying he missed the Vanilla Big Key in Pod, but still. This is a very risky play, and the odds of it actually paying off are slim because I'm pretty sure we know Evanidus went there too. He didn't find anything. So this is just a complete waste of time. He has just given Evanidus a chance to come back from the brink of defeat here. It's still going to take Evanidus a while, but oh, this is bad.
So credit to the diligence of chat, noting that the mix-up here, at least on Z4T0X's part, is that I think the big key came in the dark room, in the dark maze, and just maybe mirrored out accidentally before checking the chest, and fearing that an item is left behind and going straight to Helma is the solution here. That's a bit of speculation on my part, but in Z4T0X's mind, there's still an item here in Pod, so they're coming back for it.
Well, thanks to the silver arrows, he gets a very quick kill on Helmasar King. And there's the compass. He's going to realize he just wasted his time because either he's going to realize he didn't find anything and leave, or he's going to even be worse and triple dip to find those last items. Even though we know that I think at most it's a bee in a bottle that he missed.
I mean, if you're going to go in and go all the way to Helma thinking there's an item left when you know that it could be in the big chest, but you go to Helma instead, yeah, some frustration slashes there. You got to go back and check that big chest. You have to commit to the play in your own mind at least. So, once again, though, Evanidus is just checking some locations that... Z4T0X has already checked, so making up a bit of time in that regard, but nothing groundbreaking. And Evanidus picking up that Quake medallion. That'll potentially be useful if it's Mire required, which is still completely unknown to us as we have not yet discovered the flute.
Yeah, so Once again, we're down to Desert Palace and going for the green pendant, or a risky double dip into swamp, potential double dip into swamp, because we're gonna have to go in there and come back, because I doubt the hook shot's gonna be in there. But then again, we may be wrong. It may be in there. You know, the trolliest thing a randomizer can do is to put an item in its vanilla location, and I think that's what Evanidus is going to check. He is taking the gamble.
Yeah, I like this play. This could be a potential, you know, equalizer for him. Meanwhile, we're going to get a check with Spike Cave on the other side. We'll see which play is going to pay dividends. And let's not forget, of course, you know, I think we're overlooking the fact that Sasha could have an item.
That's why I keep... No, actually, I don't, because that's why I keep saying, oh, there's our Master Sword!
Well, that's a pretty handy thing to have.
Yeah, Master Sword and Spike Cave. We've been needing that. Now, this could tempt him to go for the Bombos tablet because he knows there's a mail upgrade there. I would go for it at this point.
Yeah, I could see going to collect it just to give yourself some time to think along the way about what else you can do, and you know, it wouldn't hurt, of course, to have extra protection. As I think we saw in the Evanidus Cold Stare debacle, like, your health with green mail is never really all that secure. Especially if you're operating with an underpowered sword, that health can go away real fast.
But no, he is not going for it. He is still passing up that mail upgrade. He is heading back over. Did he not check the digging game?
It seems that he did not.
Oh, well, he's not going to be happy with what he finds there, because there's only a 5-bomb upgrade waiting for him there, so, ooh, this is not good.
Alright, so Evanidus, again, the big death to Cold Stare looming large, hasn't completed Skull Woods, hasn't checked the pyramid, but is in Swamp Palace, where we really, at this point, are suspecting pretty strongly that there's going to be a progression item.
This is Evanidus' big chance here. If there is a progression item in this dungeon, then Evanidus could come back from the brink of defeat and actually pull this off. Especially since Z4T0X is checking a whole lot of places and I know he's checked already, or either that or he's passed up because he didn't. There's the flute!
All right, well, there's a start. That's good for Evanidus. Now, here's the question here. I mean, I think once you're in Swamp, you want to limit the number of times you got to come in and out. So you go ahead and clear out as much as you can while you're here. This is the right play. But I'm sure, you know, in their mind, just eager to get going and put that flute to use.
Yeah, he is back on the right path. And unfortunately, Z4T0X has realized where he needs to go. He is on his way into Swamp Palace now. So that chance to catch up is sliding away very quickly for Evanidus. As the chat rightfully points out, Evanidus has not finished up Skull Woods yet. He still needs to go back and finish Ice Palace. This is very, very interesting to see how this is going to go from here on out. Oh, and never mind. Evanidus did beat Skull Woods. My apologies. Tracker. Math Girl just forgot to update the tracker. It happens, folks. With so much chaos going on in this seed, you can miss a thing or two.
Well, that makes things a little bit better for Evanidus than just, you know, with the lone difference in terms of crystal count just being that Cold Stare debacle. Now, imagine if that hadn't happened. I mean, this would be really close. As it stands, Evanidus still has some ground to make up, we think. So the question looming now that we've discovered the flute, I think specifically, is, you know, where is that Cane of Samaria? Because that's going to take us to the Mire area, which is going to yield...
Ask and you shall receive! Someone call Phantom Ryu, because it's gotta be Cane!
Well, there you go. There she is.
Timing there, dude. Timing.
Yeah. That was convenient. So there's the cane that we were just talking about. And that's going to make things a lot easier in terms of, finishing Meyer, getting into Turtle Rock.
Yeah. Also, we found a witch, shall we? Oh, and hook shot!
Wow! Oh my god!
Swamp is the play! Holy cow!
Swamp Palace, what are you doing?
Swamp Palace hiding all the things! Holy cow! So at this point, knowing what we know, we are one Ice Rod and potentially one medallion away from Go Mode.
Wow, that really changes the complexion of this because now, Meyer is obviously completable with silver arrows and the bow. I don't care if you have the fighter sword. Vitreous is, going to be a whole lot easier.
They have silver arrows. Vitreous is a joke with the silvers.
But yeah, as you mentioned, Bombos may be a bit tricky. The Ice Rod, of course, we return to the classic troll item, the Ice Rod, which can be, at this time, anywhere but Trinex and Ganon's Tower.
Yeah, this is the last item that you want to be your Go Mode item is the Ice Rod. And chat point is saying the Sydney sword grab. Evanidus needs a sword upgrade. Z4T0X does not. He has Master Sword. So, and he's going to find the same items that Evanidus has found. So, no, he is only an Ice Rod and potentially a medallion away from Go Mode. I know what I called. Let's see what we find here in these back chests. We've got the map and a heart container. Well, it's a good time to find that right now. Evanidus has been needing some health lately.
Yeah, at this stage of the siege, you're not often, breathing a sigh of relief to find a heart container, but I think Evanidus, for him, that is a sight for sore eyes. And Evanidus is going to go back and check the big chest as it's the only outstanding item remaining. Certainly has picked up the map. I have not seen if the compass has been acquired.
Let's see what we find there. Just a 5-arrow upgrade, and I believe that's all of the items, and so the compass will be on Argus, if I'm doing my math correctly. And this one, we still have not found the remaining swords. We've only found 2 sword upgrades. There's still 2 more floating around, which means most likely they're either going to be in Misery Mire or Turtle Rock, or worse yet, both of them could be in Ganon's Tower.
Yeah, and they won't have the luxury of the cape unless they decide to go back and get it from Zora's Ledge. So if they don't pick up another male upgrade, I mean, maybe you do go to the Bombos tablet here in the near future while you're kind of in the area if you're Z4T0X. I don't know that Evanidus has that knowledge. I think that might have been checked.
No, he checked it. I know for a fact he checked it.
Okay, Evanidus probably checked that around the time of the purple chest and everything like that. So, yeah, we could see them pick that up, actually, because... if you've got a underpowered sword going to the Ganon fight, it's going to be a little bit of, difficulty getting through that initial phase before you move on to the arrow portion.
All right, Evanidus now starting his fight with Argus. Only has fighter sword, so that's going to make it a little trickier. Surprisingly, he's not opting to do Menu Simulator 2017 and switching back and forth between the hook shot and the hammer, which would make it a little easier. He's opting for spin strats.
Yeah, can't really afford to take any hits here. All right, okay.
And this allows Z4T0X to catch up with him because he's got Master Sword. He doesn't have to do near as much work. He can work a little faster, but thankfully, they both have silver arrows, so the final phase will be much easier. 1 arrow shot, and it's over.
Bang. Speaking of math, I'd like to see or hear from somebody who's tested this, like if the spin strats with the fighter sword, how they compare to, the menuing and the hammer. Of course, there's a little more room for error probably with the menu strats because you've got to be very precise. It's a lot of inputs. but I feel like they're probably similar in terms of speed, but maybe not.
So now the question becomes, A, what medallion is needed for Misery Mire? And B, where is the ice rod? Sadly, with the hook shot now in play, we have a ton of places yet to check. The hookshot cave is now back in play. We've got Misery Mire still in play. We could even potentially still have the green pendant still in play.
Yeah.
And of course, Turtle Rock.
Yeah, so I imagine the next play, it seems like Mire's is such a good fit because you can clear it. You can also, if you choose to, you know, clear out desert, get that green pendant if you don't find the ice rod. But of course, they could get denied from Mire if they don't have Bombos. But I think I'd like to. I could be crazy here, but I still never think they check the sewers. And if the ice rod is there, that would be
that
insane.
will be so trolly. By the way, for Evanidus, the goose is loose. And he is immediately going to head back over to the potion vendor. He is stocking up because he knows he needs all the help he can get. And with that, he is most obviously on his way to the Mire area. Time to see if the controlling continues. What medallion is needed? If it's Ether or Quake, they're good. If it's Bombos, oh, that will hurt. Let's see. What is it? What is it? Bombos!
Oh, my God.
It is Bombos! Oh, that is evil! That is evil! Yes, folks, Mire is locked because we need the Bombos medallion, and we still don't know where that is. Oh, oh my Lord. That is cruel and unusual punishment. Evanidus is now checking the checkerboard cave. And there's the ice rod!
Well, that's a good sign for the runners.
Oh, I needed that. So, ladies and gentlemen, Z4T0X, and also picking up the ice rod, is only a Bombos medallion away from go mode. There are 2 main areas to check, 3 if you count the green pendant in desert. Is it there? Is it in the hookshot cave? Or is it hiding in Turtle Rock, which is now fully completable?
And, shame on Z4T0X for spoiling that bee. A perfectly good bee. He's a good boy. Didn't do nothing to nobody. But he gone now.
Yeah, he is gone. Rip bee. Oh. This seed, this is not a shade seed, but this is definitely the trolliest seed I've seen. It's another one of those trollier seeds that I've seen. Trolliest? Not much, not really, but it's pretty trolly. So Evanidus now gonna make the play into Turtle Rock. Is he gonna check the hookshot cave first, or is he gonna go? Nope, he is going right in. Either that, or is he at least activating it?
Yeah, Turtle Rock, really, if you have the powder, I guess you still have green mail, so you're still a little insecure, but with the powder, you'll be able to get a pretty full complement of health almost any time you want. So I don't think it's a necessity to go check Hookshot Cave now, but you might as well. You might find that sword upgrade that you're looking for.
Yeah, he hasn't even checked Super Bunny Cave yet, so he's going to do that first.
Okay.
But Z4T0X is also opening up Turtle Rock, and will he check Hookshot Cave?
I'm going to guess no. Let's see.
Looks like you might be, you're guessing correctly. He's going in.
Hey, 1 for 2.
All right, Evanidus now checking the hook shot. There's our blue mail. That was all they found, but that's still better than nothing.
Yeah, so, you know, with the, the riot shield, being able to utilize that on the laser bridge if need be, that's handy. That's going to be a nice thing to have. Blue mail, going to make things a lot easier. Still, obviously, Evanidus really searching for some sword upgrades. We shall see if he checks Spike Cave. As we all know, that's where Z4T0X found the Master Sword not too long ago.
Oh, no, I doubt it now. Tempered Sword in Turtle Rock.
Woof. Well, it's really hard to imagine how things could turn in favor of Evanidus, and that certainly doesn't help, because that just strengthens Z4T0X, and it might keep Evanidus away from another sword upgrade in Spike Cave.
Yeah, Z4T0X now got his Cheeto sword. As he continues on into Turtle Rock, again, we are just simply a Bombos medallion away from go mode for both of our runners, because we know Evanidus will find that Master Sword here in a second. Where is that medallion? Oh, my lord. This is getting good. And these runners may look like they're very close, to each other, but bear in mind, Evanidus is a dungeon behind because he could not complete Ice Palace. He will have to go back for that, and that is a painful dungeon to have to go double dipping into. So the Z4T0X has a pretty considerable lead given that.
Yeah, I mean, we knew as it was happening that was going to be no good at all for Evanidus, and it's just really unfortunate the way that went down, especially after, I mean, he displayed some really, really nifty strats on that bomb jump earlier on with, one bomb remaining, had to get it first try, and did. That was,
And Sports Cafe, I would agree with that. It is a go mode Ice Palace, but go moding Ice Palace is still a pain in the butt. It's one of the more difficult dungeons to go through quickly, so it's not going to be that helpful for him. If it were, say, Swamp Palace, that'd be great. But Ice Palace, not so much. Z4T0X going to check the Mimic Cave because he's still hunting for one more item. So he wants to full clear Turtle Rock until that point. Only a big 20 in the Mimic Cave. Evanidus now making his way through. He'll be joining Z4T0X there shortly. Oh, man. Looks we got one more chest, I think, before the laser bridge. If he finds it before then, he might be able to skip it, but doubtful. Oh, be in a bottle.
All right, you get a second chance, Z4T0X. Don't forsake this one.
When would he use it, to be honest? All right, so he needs a key and he needs the Bombos Battalion, so it's time to check the laser bridge. Thankfully, they have the mirror shield, which will make it a bit easier to check it. Let's see what we find. Triple bombs in the first chest. Second chest. There it is! Bombos! Ladies and gentlemen, Z4T0X has officially entered Go Mode!
Well, he does still have to get a key from the laser bridge. Oh, now he's entered go mode.
Doob, you have officially gotten contracted what I like to call foot and mouth disease.
I hope not. I don't want that. That sounds unpleasant.
That's kind of the point.
All right, let's see how Z4T0X handles Trinex here. Tempered Sword, gonna make it quite a bit easier, obviously. Not gonna get that 0 cycle, but should still be pretty elementary. Got one head down. Ooh, missing a Fire Rod shot there.
Yeah, but quick recovery there. He's avoided the Trinex headbutt there. And with a good spin strat, he might be able to get this in one cycle before the damage is limited. Let's see if he can pull it off. Yes! Gets it done easily.
So Z4T0X has a pretty commanding advantage here. Obviously, going to go straight down to Meyer and just rush that, looking for the big key. You know, if he happens to find Butter Sword, then great. But really, I think Z4T0X has, everything he needs. Now, we mentioned earlier he's not even going to go to Hookshot Cave. Excuse me. So I wonder, yeah, maybe he does go by the Bombos tablet before going up Death Mountain, but I don't think so.
He might be willing to take the gamble on Greenmail Ganon, which is definitely tricky, but not undoable.
Yeah, I suspect that if he still had the Master Sword, then that would absolutely be getting done. But with Greenmail, I think they'll forego that. Uh-oh. Evanidus got a potion. Okay.
He stocked up on potions ahead of time, and thank the Lord he did, because that would have cost him big time, falling behind 2 dungeons. But no, he is good to go. He will have a little more trouble with Trinex, because it's almost impossible to do the one cycle that Z4T0X did earlier. But has very little trouble getting through that. Down goes Trinex. So he has 2 dungeons left to complete. Z4T0X only has the 1. This race is just getting close to the end, folks.
Yeah, imagining scenarios in which Evanidus can catch up. Because clearly, probably going to go to Meyer here and complete that, then go to Ice Palace last. But I don't suspect he's going to check Hookshot Cave here. Although, what are we seeing? I was going to flute, of course.
No, Evanidus already checked Hookshot Cave, so he's done. But
yeah, I meant Spike Cave. I misspoke.
Yeah.
So you're going to miss out on that sword upgrade, which clearly is going to cost him a lot, not only to Ganon, but even going through Ganon's tower. So, I mean, short of taking the right side while Evanidus full clears on the left in Ganon's tower, I mean, even then, it might draw the match a bit closer, but we shall see. Crazier things have happened in this tournament, and Z4T0X, of course, still has to get through Myers, so we'll see.
There's the big key, so Z4T0X says everything he needs. He's going to go straight to Vitreous. This race is heavily in his favor right now. I haven't had a chance to do this yet, but if you guys are enjoying our runners, be sure to give Evanidus and Z4T0X a follow on Twitch. I have obviously been playing very hard for your entertainment, so please give them a shout out on that. And don't forget that there's also other races going on. Right now, there is a race over on Speed Gaming 2 between ACMLM and Gerdo. So be sure to check that out. And we have another race tomorrow at 8 between Amazing Ampharos and Hippo. So definitely don't miss that as well.
Yeah, and I expect more matches. They seem to get scheduled sometimes on, sort of short notice, maybe like 24 hours. So certainly keep an eye on, the Speed Gaming schedule, and be sure to check out anytime you see, ALTTP Randomizer on any of the schedule there. Just imagine that it's going to be a good show, as it almost always is. So good shout out there.
Yeah, indeed. And also, let's not forget we have our secondary tournament going on ALTTP Randomizer, as well as ALTTP Randomizers 2 through 4. In fact, right now, I believe, if I'm looking at my schedule correctly, we also have a race between Lightyear and Bamboo Shadow going on, and S Diesel and Vault 127 later on tonight, along with a 2 races between Kamadora and Maniacal 42, and more races even that. So be sure to follow all of our channels for all that. Z4T0X with a very nice kill on Vitreous. Ladies and gentlemen, it is that time. And it looks like the game is not working again. I'll talk to Fiesel about that. But you guys know the drill. There are 22 possible item locations inside of Ganis Tower where the big key can be hiding. Where do you think it's going to be? Doob, where do you think it's hiding?
I like to go with either 10 or 12. I find that those tend to be in locations that I prefer for whatever reason, either like the randomizer room, or if they go like right side first and come back, then it's going to be one of those first 4 chests in the Stalpus room. So those are the locations that I like to choose. How about you?
I'm gonna go with a random guess. I'm gonna say the Firebar room.
Oh, okay.
Firebar room.
So that could be like either 8 or 7. One of those.
Somewhere around there. I will say though, don't count on my guess. I have yet to get it right ever. And with how many races I've called, I've yet to get even close.
Yeah, and to sort of finish up what you were saying a moment ago as far as the schedule goes in the secondary tournament, yeah, there's going to be at least 5 races, 4 races later on this evening, specifically, or 5 if they're doing that double header. And yeah, if you haven't, go ahead and look up those A Link to the Past randomizer channels. They kind of created those just for this bracket stage of the secondary tournament. A lot of good action there and a lot of races, so a lot of fun.
All right, so Z4T0X's on his way to Ganon's Tower right now. And he is not going to check the hookshot room. Not surprised there, but it's going to be risky with only green mail.
Yeah, so Z4T0X is missing a couple of, safety items. He does have the Cane of Burna, but, only doesn't have half magic, no cape. Does have the powder, though, and that's important. But, there is some reason to think that he could get in a little bit of trouble with his health here in GT. Though I am unsure. I know that he bought several potions from the witch. I don't know what his current stock is like.
There's our butter sword in chest number 2. And he's got that small key, so he's opting to go right side here. Skips the tile room, because nobody likes to do the tile room if they can help it. Though, you'd be surprised how often I've seen people take the gamble and it pay off. I've had at least 2 races where someone took an early gamble on tile room and it ended up being the right location.
Yeah, I didn't witness it, but I heard Tale of a Seed yesterday where there was tile room play and it paid off.
I calmed that race. I saw it with my own eyes. All right, let's keep the count going. Chest number 3, piece of heart. Number 4, bomb upgrade. Number 5, triple bombs. Number 6, map.
And if you guess chest 6 for the map, it's a good guess. Good job.
All right, grabs the key and he's off to the left side now. Let's see what's on Bob's torch. Number 7. Triple bombs. Looks like Bob's gonna live today. Hopefully we'll see him.
Although, if we drop in on Bob, that sort of increases our chances of having a potential tile room, which, if nothing, would just infuriate the runners.
But not the viewers. All right, number 7, or number 8, number 9.
Number 9.
All right, and bot is working actually. So Voodoo Torch got it correct.
And I'm not sure what Z4T0X was digging around there for. Maybe a mail upgrade? But he did check those other 2 chests.
All right, so Z4T0X now working his way through the gauntlet. Meanwhile, Evanidus is going to go back through Ice Palace. He's got to finish that up before he can call it a day. This is where it's going to cost him, but we'll see what happens as Z4T0X makes his way through the gauntlet. All right, let's see how Z4T0X does here in the gauntlet. With that nice butter sword, he's gonna get through very quickly, which is always nice to have. It is going to be a risky move though, because like we said, he does not have any mail upgrades. He did not get either of the mail upgrades. One was on the Bombos tablet, one was in the Hookshot Cave. Evanidus only got the blue mail from the Hookshot Cave, so this is interesting.
Yeah, so far not having a lot of trouble, and you know, might elect to go ahead and powder this this bunny beam here.
Nope, going right through, and he's on for land mode 2.
And Evanidus using his newly minted bombos to get past the first portion of Cold Stare here, and maybe taking out a little bit of frustration there on the puffballs. One is down.
He's got a bit more health and a bit more defense, and he's got a Master Sword now, so this is going to be a little bit easier for him. So he's taking a lot of hits there. He needs to be careful. As Z4T0X finishes his way through the style robes very quickly. And it looks like it's just about over for Evanidus here. He is risking. Oh, but he's got his blue potion.
Don't you? Well. Well, won the hand, got the job done. And he'll be on his way up to Ganon's Tower, well behind the frontrunner Z4T0X here. This is a good time, I think, to point out that this is the group stage, this portion of the Fall Randomizer Tournament. This is Group C, and Z4T0X comes into this contest with a 1-1 record. Evanidus is 0-1. And each runner in each group will, of course, there's 5 runners in the group, so they'll face off in 4 matches.
Oh, half magic right before Moldorm 2. Oh, and Moldorm almost got stuck in that corner there. But 2 dash attacks, and down goes Moldorm 2. Not trolling there. Will he check the final chest? He does, and it's the bug net.
Wow, extra validation there with the bug net. Like, I'm not sure if you can find a more validating item save the single arrow.
All right, so Z4T0X now taking on Aghanim 2. Ooh, was that a triple, I think? Did that count as a triple? If so, that was really good.
Yeah, it's always hard to tell. Oh, it's sometimes hard to tell because Aga can get pushed into the wall and that last one won't count. Oh, and
yeah.
Biffed that one a little bit, but we'll see here. Maybe
and he
one
gets
more.
it. Down goes Agaton 2, and now it's time for the Big Pig.
Yeah, and with Butter Sword, it's not going to be a problem at all getting Ganon, out of those first couple of phases. So, barring getting hugged, knocked off the edge, Z4T0X should have a pretty routine fight with Ganon.
Yeah, and it'd take at least 2 or 3 knocks off the ledge for Evanidus to even catch up at this point. This is Z4T0X's race to lose. Z4T0X also a really good start, setting himself up at the best spot he can, trying to make sure he gets right in the center of that circle of fire bats so he can just take him out, do as much damage as possible before he has to escape. Ooh, careful. He's using his hook shot to mitigate some of that damage, but that is close.
Yeah, a little too close for comfort there, but yeah, he's on to the final phase. Does have some potions if he takes another hit from a fire bat. Although, I should know this, but I feel like Ganon maybe does 5 hearts, maybe 6 hearts of damage against Green Mail. Like, if he actually touches you.
Yeah, he has to be very careful here. Actually, I think it's 8, if I remember correctly. 8 hearts of damage with Green Mail, so he has to be absolutely careful here. If he takes even 1 hit, he is dead. So he's going to take that out. Does not do the torch glitch. Then again, he's got silver arrows, so he doesn't need it. He's already got it, and there. Nope, 1 more hit. He needs to do 1 more. He's going to have to light the torches 1 last time. Oh, he's setting him up. And down he goes! Ladies and gentlemen, your winner, Z4T0X. And he will finish with an official SRL time of 1 hour, 52 minutes, and 40 seconds. Congratulations to Z4T0X. He'll be joining us shortly here for an interview. We're definitely going to have to talk to him about this one.
Yeah, a lot of things to talk about. I'm trying to recap it all now in my head, and there's just so much, and my memory is already so poor. As we see Evanidus making his way into the beginning stages of the gauntlet here. Again, still just with the Master Sword, unfortunately.
Z4T0X, congratulations, my friend.
Thanks.
Yeah, I imagine that the trolling that this seed did to you guys was unbelievable. All of the items in Swamp Palace, especially.
Yeah, and the really late sword. In Ice Palace, the first one.
Yeah, you were actually the only person who's going to end up getting Butter Sword because Evanidus did not get. He went left side first, I think. He did not get his Butter Sword. He did not even get Tempered Sword, and we know he did not check Spike Cave to get the last sword upgrade.
Yeah, whoa, it was crazy disease.
Yeah, good game to you, Z4T0X. When you, earlier on in the seed, you had to go up against Blind with the hammer, and that's a difficult proposition for anyone, but it seemed at that time like, at that moment it was a pretty close race, and like that death might cost you. But you did well after that. Of course, you went back and took care of it, no problem. Kind of tied it in with your play on Skull Woods. It all worked out very well. But can you just describe what you were feeling at that time when you had that unfortunate death to Blind?
Oh, well, I don't know, I was kinda mad. I messed the fight up really hard. I completely struggled, and I don't know, I thought about doing some crazy gambles after that. And skipping some things like the library minigame and shovel game. I skipped it for a really long time, but at some point I just had to check it, because I don't know. the seed gave him, or me at least.
Yeah, the thing that actually gave you the race was actually on Evanidus' side. He actually took a major death in Ice Palace. He died to Cold Stare and had to go back and refinish that dungeon later. And I think that in the end, that was what bought you the race.
Oh yes, that's at least a 4 minute, like a 4 minutes time loss. Trying to Cold Stare.
Exactly. Yeah, he actually opted to go back to it later instead of trying to do it right away, which doesn't make a difference. But at the end, that 4 minutes, yeah, you can see he's up to Moldor 2 now. That's how far behind he is.
Okay.
Yeah. So later on in the race, you know, there were still a lot of items that you did not have, that you needed, that you knew had to be somewhere, you know, in a pretty limited number of locations. Specifically, just before you made the play in the swamp, you needed the cane, you needed the ice rod, you needed the hook shot, and you needed the flute. And you found the flute, cane, and hook shot in that order in swamp. Have you ever seen a swamp palace so loaded?
No, never. To be honest, for a short moment when I found the flute, I was like, should I mirror out and go to Misery Maya? But thank God I didn't do that.
That probably would have cost you, or at least given Evanidus a huge chance to catch up there. But thankfully, you played the smart call and went for it. As Evanidus is now working on Aghanim too. But yeah, and also, we noticed you did not check Hookshot Cave, which, funny enough, had the other mail upgrade that you did not find. How confident were you going into this with only green mail?
Well, since I had Tempered Sword, I think I had as well, so I was not scared at all.
Obviously not. And then, of course, you found Butter Sword along the way, which probably made you feel even more comfortable because it's like, okay, I got this now.
Yeah. Oh, that was an exhausting race. Especially the beginning was really, I don't know, really messy.
Yeah, so talk more about that. What was it at the beginning of the race that had you, you know, feeling maybe anxious a little bit?
I don't know. I had really not a single idea what I should do. The items didn't lead to anything, in my opinion. The logic was really messed up, except for the mirror when I got the boots. But then I don't know. It was a really messy seed. I think I never visited Eastern Palace.
Oh wow, yeah.
I got the bow, but and I was like, okay, POD had a logic change, there must be something. And then I made a stupid mistake on the Helmasaur. I had 2 keys, and I was like, oh, okay, I have only the vanilla big key chest left, so there must be a key in it. But I forgot there was below a chest I didn't loot, yeah. So I killed Helmasaur for nothing. But I don't know, the bow didn't lead to anything, and then I was like, okay, maybe the game has to give it to you at some point, because again it's tower, but I was thinking about doing lawn molars. It was really messy. Beginning, I don't know.
Yeah, so we were talking early on. I mean, the first item you discovered was the fire rod, which, you know, seems in a lot of ways like a real blessing to have early on, because it's a powerful weapon. You know, you get a little bit of magic, and you can use it to clear out pretty much anything that might get in your way, you know, in the escape, South Hyrule, whatever. But you're right, after that, I mean, you got the mirror. You got the gloves in Kakariko Village, so you did, I think you went up to Death Mountain pretty quickly there without the lamp, and then later discovered that the lamp was in Agina Cave. So although it was a sequence break, you know, technically, it's not like the lamp was anywhere terribly crazy, so it wasn't, you know, a foolish play or anything. But yeah, you mentioned you never made it into Eastern, which I can barely believe that. Not like a criticism of your play, but it just seems like Eastern is always going to get some sort of check. But wow, yeah, you never went into Eastern, had to do that. You made a bit of a mistake there going back into Pod. But otherwise, you played, you know, pretty well. Again, good game to you as Evanidus is moving on to the very last bits of Ganon here. But is there anything else that stands out to you in this race as you kind of, you know, catch your breath and think back a little bit?
Well, the best moment was when I found the sword, the first sword in Ice Palace. I was really excited.
I was actually just going to ask about that. It's like 56. It was like 56 minutes in finding your fighter sword. I'm like, that must have been driving you nuts. As Evanidus has just finished up his fight with Ganon here. Oh my, what a seed. And Evanidus going to do the boat trick, and he finishes with an official SRL time of 2 hours and 21 seconds. But yeah, finding the fighter sword in the Ice Palace after 56 minutes, that had to have been like a relief.
Oh, yes. I mean, technically the first sword was in Spike Cave, when you had access to Cane of Brine kinda early, if you would have done that play, but well, who would do that? I don't know. Like getting the big key from Mothula's cave, go back, and I think in the big chest there was a brine.
Yep, that was what we found. Unfortunately, Evanidus will not be able to join us. He does not have a mic on his end, but he is in the chat. He will be in the chat to say hi real quick, and GG to him as well. Oh, I will warn you, if you go back and watch the VOD, turn your volume down. I got a little loud a few times.
Good game to Evanidus. I do want to say, as much as difficulty as Ice Palace gave you, unfortunately, you do deserve enormous props for pulling off that bomb jump on the first try. Your only try, because it was your only bomb. The more I think about that, the more impressive that is. So at least I need to give you your propers on that. That was an excellent play. So as we kind of review here, Z4T0X, you improved to 2-1 in the group stage of Group C. And this drops Evanidus to 0-2 with still matches remaining against McLagging and Spooty Biscuit. Those will be scheduled at some time in the future, obviously. So once again, well raced by both of you. And, thanks for giving us a show this afternoon.
Yeah, thanks. Thanks for the nice commentary, hopefully. I will watch the VOD after. And thanks for the good race.
Thank you again. Make sure you give both Evanidus and Z4T0X a follow here on Twitch. Also, shout out to our tracker, Math Girl. And, of course, myself and my co-commentator, Dube Duberson. Make sure you give all of us a follow. And make sure you also give a follow to all of our speed gaming channels. Speed Gaming 1-4, and of course, ALTTP Randomizer 1-4. Make sure you keep up with all the randomizer action. So many races going down. Keep your eyes on the schedule for more. In the meantime, any last words from you, dude, before we sign off?
No, just once again, thanks to both the runners, and to echo everything you said. If you enjoyed the race, if you enjoyed their running, go ahead and give them a follow. And pleasure commentating with you as always. And yeah, be sure to stay glued to the schedule, see all the upcoming races. There's a couple more, or I think at least one more this evening in the main tournament, but a handful this evening in the secondary tournament. All those are worth watching, so that's where I'll be for sure. And I will see you there in chat.
Indeed, indeed. Thank you guys for tuning in. As I always like to say, rock on, guys!